Future simple using will. So there are two ways that we can talk about the future tense in English. The first one that we're going to see is using the modal verb will. And for people who speak French, this is the future simple, okay? And for those who speak Spanish, it's when you put the ending, so at the end of the verb, okay? So, for example, whenever we're using a modal verb, it's very important that you remember to only use a base form after the verb. So, in this case, will plus the base form of whatever verb you're using. We're going to use this structure, okay, when we're deciding about future plans at the moment. So let's say you didn't buy any plane ticket, you didn't book a hotel, you didn't do anything. But right now, in this moment, you said, you know what? I will go to Paris, okay? It's because you're deciding right now at this moment. So if you check the example, it's I in the subject, will, the modal verb, plus go in the base form to Paris. I will go to Paris. Very good. The next structure that we can use to talk about the future, okay, or the future simple tense is be going to. Be going to. We have to conjugate the verb to be. Be going to is always the same. And then after be going to, we have to use the base form, okay? And for those who speak French, this is the future poche, okay? So the conjugation of the verb to be has to be in the present tense. So I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are, going to, plus the verb that we're using. And this is used to talk about future plans that have already been made. So remember with will, it's when you're making the decision in the moment. When you're using be going to, it's because it's already a planned, okay, activity for the future. For example, I, the subject, the verb to be, first person, so I am going to Paris. I am going to Paris, okay? If I were to use a verb after here, so I am going to visit Paris, okay? Then I would have to use the verb visit in the base form. Guys, it's important that you know the difference when to use it for exercise sake. So let's say you're doing an exam or for grammatical exercises. But when people are speaking, they rarely think about if it's a planned action or not. You just know that there are two ways that you can use to talk about the future tense. If you're talking and the future simple comes out, okay? Or the future simple with will comes out, they're both correct, okay? The most important thing is that you're identifying that you're talking in the future, not in the present or in the past, okay? So don't get too caught up in the idea that, oh, I always have to remember if it's a planned action or not, okay? The most important thing here is that you know when to use the future tense, okay? And you use them correctly. Remember, after both will or be going to, the verb has to be in the base form. And you always have to conjugate the verb to be. You cannot just say, I be going to. That would be incorrect, okay? So once you conjugate this and you're using it correctly, then you're fine, okay? So these are the two options that you have to talk about future actions in English. Perfect. We will move on with the next part of the course in a moment.